People who were on show like Supernanny, World's Strictest Parents, or Scared Straight, what was the experience like? And what was the aftermath? My friend was on Supernanny. They don't actually do anything, it's just acting. He and his brother are still exactly the same as they were before. I feel like South Park's edition of Supernanny would be more accurate. He spit in my mouth. It's best not to get on his level. There is no trial too tough for Supernanny. In just 3 days' time, you're going to see a new Eric Cartman, Supernanny Joe Frost, 3 days before she starts eating her own feces. I went to high school with a kid who was on Supernanny when he was like 11. Apparently him and his sister's behavior weren't all that bad, and that one day a camera crew just showed up at his house. He also told me they were trying to force an emotional scene where he would hug his mom and say he loves her forever or something, and he was like, no, that's gay, and they were like, please, and he was like, no. They settled on love you mom. I love you son Lamau. Okay Gaylord. I knew a girl who was on Scared Straight. After the show she ended up addicted to heroin, going to rehab. Hope she got her life together. One of my friends in grade school was on Nanny 911 as a kid, maybe around 5 years old. There were a lot of kids in her family, and one of the biggest problems the nanny had with their household was safety. She baby-proofed the entire house and lectured them on safety precautions they have to take in their lives to ensure that the children wouldn't get hurt. She even gave them all helmets to wear whenever they rode bikes or four-wheelers. After she left, a lot of the safety precautions went out of the window, and later my friend told me that they still had the helmets, but they were all sitting in a dusty corner. I remember that episode. I don't understand parents who don't make their kids wear helmets. You must have never visited the Netherlands. There was a program here in Spain that was like Supernanny but for teenagers. One of them was a guy who lived with his grandma and had a very violent behavior. During the show you could see how the guy changed and started having a better relationship with his grandma, but I guess it was just an act because when the TV crew left he killed her. Edit, adding a local newspaper article about it. Edit 2, link to a comment with a translation of the news article. Well, that went downhill quickly. Oh cool, a story where it actually worked. Well shit. Yeah. Always be prepared to be disappointed. It's been an hour, I guess those people were not real. Give them time, Desi, maybe their parents haven't gone to bed yet. We'll get here, we are just busy relapsing and walking on sunshine. Like 3 years ago, I lived in a big 5-bedroom house with 4 other friends in college. The house was in an episode of Supernanny. We found out because our nice neighbor literally gave us a signed headshot from Joe Frost as a gift out of the blue. He literally told us, I think y'all would like this more than me and get a kick out of it. It made our week and we found the episode online and watched it. I asked about the family to the neighbor as our house was rented out and owned by a property company. He told me after the show the parents fought all the time, lost all of their money due to 2008 crisis, and lost the house to foreclosure. The picture stayed on our mantle for 3 years and I thought about that family every time. It was all nice and wholesome and then it crashed and burned at the end. I lived in India. Once in my school when I was in 6th grade these foreign kids pop up with a bunch of cameramen and stuff. Speculation went wild. We thought our terrible principal probably wanted to create a cool image for the school and was creating some kind of weird advertisement. Anyway, years later I saw a YouTube clip by complete chance of World's Strictest Parents. It was my school and those exact kids. They had come to an Indian family whose children went to my school. The episode was a lot of drama. The parents were kind of obnoxious, at least for the episode. However, the last I heard on asking a few friends was that those parents were fine and their children are doing reasonably well. Not sure about the foreign kids who came. What a small world. Seems like ages ago. Is the British episode with a girl with red hair? The boy and the girl smoke a lot. If so, that's one of my favorite episodes. You pretty much just described all of the episodes. I want the chicken nugget boy to answer so bad. King Curtis. She come in here acting like she's the queen, and we're just the sorry people. I didn't go on, but some classmates went on Supernanny or Nanny 911, can't remember which. They lived rather close to my friend, so I went over to his place to watch the filming and such. The nanny stayed in their neighbor's house across the street, and the kids' behavior didn't improve for a very long after the nanny left. From what I remember, they were trouble all through school. I lost contact with all of them during middle school. Edit, just remembered, the parents ended up divorcing not too long after the show. I wouldn't imagine a nanny swooping in and putting a band-aid on the problem would fix anything like you said. If children are misbehaving, it's on the parents to tweak their parenting style to fix the problem. That's what the show was about. The nanny was there to be the professional to teach the kid the consequences and teach the parents how to follow those with their rules. I was on Scared Straight and my episode never even aired because they only select a very small amount off footage to make it look a lot worse than it actually is. Most prisoners were pretty nice. In 8th grade, our class took a field trip to the county's jail and courthouse. A few of the people locked up just flipped us off through the one-way glass, and I think one mooned us. Apparently it never happened because the teacher was shocked, but we thought it was the epitome of comedy. It's not prison, just a jail, but most people there seemed pretty chill for the most part. I volunteered to visit inmates and do an informative class for them at our local jail when I was in college. They had one guard like 100 yards away from us around a corner. These guys I met and interacted with were all good people, they just made mistakes that led to a few months to a few years in jail. All non-violent offenders. They also knew if they tried anything, their sentences would go from a few months to multiple years. My guess is they wouldn't have kids around true violent offenders anyways for safety reasons. A serial killer would not be allowed to interact with the public. My understanding is that for Scared Straight, the producers intentionally picked non-violent and friendly prisoners and pretty much instructed them to yell at the kids and act out a lot of stuff. Most of the things the prisoners do to the kids are all pre-planned. Therese, no way the producers would put kids alone in a cell with violent criminals, lol. I had a friend on World's Strictest Parents. She was approached by a producer late one night at a McDonald's, because she was 15, drunk, and wearing a stolen police hat. Apparently the producers hang around looking for kids there a lot. Anyway, she did her parent swap, was moderately wild, came back and decided she wanted to be a chef. I don't think she finished at culinary school. She had a baby at 19 and is a great mom to 2 kids now. How is the producer doing now? Great father of 2? Hold up. My brother went to school with a kid from the Scared Straight show, the Comb My Chest Hair kid, if you have seen the show. He said that the kid used to get messed with after the show aired, but now lives a pretty normal life and stays out of trouble as far as he can tell. So I would say that the show works, I guess, lol. That episode was so funny. Yeah, he did not know what to do. Think him getting a GF and later married kept him out of trouble. I don't know if this counts, but I was on an episode of Made on MTV. Anyone remembers that show? It was my senior year of high school, so about 7 years ago. People gave me crap about it forever and still do. I was made into a screamo singer. The experience is interesting to say the least. The money and flight trip to NYC, though, at 17 years old made the whole embarrassment worth it. Plus I work in the broadcast business now, so it really opened up a lot of doors and showed me a career I love. Seeing kids now that were in my shoes, so fascinated by entertainment media, makes me so genuinely happy. If anyone is interested, I'll tell more or answer questions. Not sure if that's the kind of show you're looking for. I was waiting for someone from MTV's Made. They came to my high school too and turned a classmate into prom queen. It wasn't a stretch, she was naturally pretty but went back to her nerd look right after they left. It was crazy how MTV made it look like she had no friends when she actually had a huge group she'd hang out with all the time. They also made her love interest look like such a jerk when he was actually the nicest guy you'd ever meet. Haven't believed reality TV since 2005. Still enjoy the ridiculousness of it sometimes. A coworker was featured on Supernanny. They had a pretty good experience filming and were so excited for their show to air that they hosted a watch party. I'm sure you can imagine what's next. The way the show was edited made the parents look so bad, like neglectful bad, and made the kids, who were pretty wild, look even worse. It ended up being a pretty awkward watch party. I mean, had they seen Supernanny before the watch party? Because I haven't seen a single episode of it where the parents come across as awesome, amazing people. Sounds like they assumed the show was honest and they just happened to be better people than the people that were on the show before. Crappy parents also assume what they are doing is normal and aren't even aware of what good parenting looks like.